to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today, Thursday, 19th of October. Today, a video with some initial Celtic versus Hearts preview for the game on Sunday, and also some Celtic-related news regarding injuries and international call-ups, etc. Before we crack on with the video, please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button. Also, if you can, click the like button also for this video, and as always, feel free to leave any comments or opinions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as and when I can. Also, please share the details of this channel with any friends, family, colleagues you think might be interested in an alternative Celtic news YouTube channel, as it really does help spread the interest in our great club, and also helps all the analytics for my channel to slowly succeed and expand. Also, a wee reminder that for the next few days there'll be Celtic versus Hearts related trivia questions in the Q&A section, and so do look those up. So, main piece of news relating to Celtic is all our players should be back at Celtic over the course of today, back from their international breaks. There was no word of any injuries for any of the players away on international duty, but I'm sure there will be some kind of update today or tomorrow with regards to the injuries. Still no real clear indication as to what Dyson Maeda's injury was, or the likely recovery period from it, but hopefully that should become fully apparent in the next day or two. Slightly concerning news with regards to our three Japan internationals, Kyogo Hatate, Kyogo and Dyson Maeda, in that Japan are planning a friendly warm-up game on the 1st of January 2024, prior to their Asian Cup tournament, which runs from the 12th of January to the 10th of February, and that will be in Qatar. Now, Celtic do have a very important game on the 30th of December against Rangers, and as per FIFA rules, the three Japanese players wouldn't need released for the Japan friendly on the 1st of January. For the friendly, which should mean all three should be available for the vital Rangers match 2 days before. However, as the Asian Cup is a full international tournament, Celtic would need to apply for specialist dispensation to have their players left out of the Japan squad, and given that Japan are likely one of the strong favourites for the Asian Cups, it's entirely possible that all three would be unavailable right from the 12th of January right through to the 10th of February, as there's a high chance that Japan may well get to the final. Looking at some of the Japan news sites, it's also a possibility that Kobayashi may be called up by the Japan squad for that tournament, which is a bit of a surprise given his lack of success since he joined at Celtic, and that he hasn't really played any minutes this year, this season for Celtic. Also highly likely, given that South Korea and Australia are both involved in the Asian Cup Even though Australia is not in Asia, it has been given a place at all Asian Cups recently. And so also would be expected for O and Yang to be called up by South Korea, and for Tilio to be called up by Australia. And so potentially we will be missing at least 6 players from the 12th of January right through to the 10th of February. And there's also the possibility that Iwata, Kwon may also be called up, depending on whether other teams apply for a dispensation to have their players omitted, as would appear to have been the case by Liverpool and a couple of the other English Premier League clubs. Missing those 6 players for so many weeks is a potential big problem for Celtic. Celtic have the game against Rangers on the 30th of December, followed by a game against St Mirren on the 2nd of January. There's then the winter break, which runs through to the 17th of January. Then the weekend after is a weekend set aside for the third round of the Scottish Cup. As yet, Celtic don't know who they're playing that day. Could be a very strong side. Could be obviously one of the minnows. However, we then follow with further games on the 27th of January against Ross County, Aberdeen on the 3rd of February, and Hibs on the 7th of February. And so, quite clearly, the loss of all those players from the start of 2024 through to 10 days into February could mean we are quite depleted in terms of our best players and a few of our backup players for that time. I think that's also one of the more other reasons that it's quite imperative that Celtic get their scouting in early and get their winter transfer windows also signed early, so that we have a bit more backup, particularly in our forward positions, as if, as expected, Kyogo and O are both called up by their countries, then we would be down to makeshift strikers or bringing in B team players to take over as our main striker. I'm sure that Brendan Rodgers, the coaching staff, and the scouting staff have all this in hand, but I do wonder whether over the next month or two we'll see more and more rumours of players being linked to Celtic, and also some background deals to bring in players in the winter window, possibly on transfer or on loan, and also may kickstart Celtic looking to extend the contract of Rocco Vata, who I think is a good player and has done well at under 21 level, has done exceedingly well at B team level, and would cover both right and left wide positions, and also for the B team has played through the middle with great success during this season. However, his contract is up at the end of this season, and there has been quite a lot of interest from the English Premier League, such as Notts Forest and a few of the Italian teams also, and also mentioned that Red Bull Leipzig have been looking at signing him also. So we will see what we will see regarding how Celtic plan to cope with the potential loss of 6 or more players for the Asian Cup, which luckily is only every 4 years. And I do wonder whether that might kickstart a few high-level winter transfer window signings. Other news, which is for me interesting is that Neil Lennon seems to be very much in the picture to take over as Republic of Ireland international manager. Republic of Ireland have had a very disappointing qualifying campaign, um, uh, very much struggling against the stronger sides, um, and do seem to be an international team in transition. They do have a lot of very good young players and a lot of players playing in the English Premiership and English Championship. And so may well be a team in a couple of years' time that very much is starting to challenge again like they used to. Quite interesting that Neil Lennon, who was a Republic of Northern Irish international, potentially may emulate his countrymate and also ex-Celtic manager Martin Neil, who also was Republic of Ireland manager for 5 years, 2013 to 2018. Neil Lennon does tend to get put forward as a favourite for a lot of different jobs, but the news stories coming out of Scotland and Ireland very much put him in the frame to take over from Stephen Kenny at the end of the current European qualifier season. Last wee piece of news for today, some early thoughts on the Celtic versus Hearts match. As I said at the start of the video, it looks like Celtic have a clean bill of health coming back from international duty, which of course is very good news. Brendan Rodgers mentioned earlier in the week that Nawrocki has been back in training for a week. I think it would be very early for him to be back in the team, but it certainly is very hopeful for him maybe being back in first team action in November. Our other two injuries of note are Stephen Welsh and Abada, both of whom, according to Rodgers, were looking at being back in first team squad in December, which of course is excellent news regarding Abada, especially given the fact that we'll be missing potentially so many players for the Asian Cup for that 5-week period next year. So we should find out over the next day or two just who is and isn't available for Sunday's game at 2:15 on Sky against Hearts, where of course we'll have a very, very diminished number of away fans being given tickets to see the game. Hearts, however, do go into the game with quite a number of players out injured or just recovering from injury, and there are 7 players listed by Hearts as being injury concerns. It's thought that Kingsley, Halkett, Gordon and Atkinson will all definitely be out for the Celtic game on Sunday, with Oda, Cochrane and Mackay all borderline for the game, only just having got back into training. And so could be quite a weak side that we play on Sunday against Hearts. Celtic actually have a remarkably good record recently against Hearts. We've won 8 straight games against Hearts, and looking back to the last 55 games at Tynecastle, we've got 40 wins, 5 losses and 10 draws, and so it is actually a ground which Celtic has done very well at, and was of course the scene of Brendan Rodgers' first win with Celtic in his first period with Celtic, with a rather dramatic late goal by Scott Sinclair. So I'll expand further on the ins and outs of the Celtic Hearts match over the next couple of days. We'll leave things at that point there, and thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Do subscribe if you can, do pass on the details to other Celtic fans and other people you feel might be interested. Like the video if you can, and do have a wee look at the trivia question in the community section. And so for today, goodbye and hail, hail.